All right, what's going on, gentlemen? We are live Wednesday morning here, 10:30 Eastern, ready to rock. And what we're going to be talking about today is how you can lose 30 pounds as you get into the busy season. Because up here in Canada, things are starting to warm up. Now, if you're from a little bit more of those southern states, Florida, Texas, all that kind of stuff, it's probably warm year round, right? So, at least for us up here, things are starting to warm up. The snow's starting to melt, grass is getting greener, which means for a lot of people, and even the clients that I'm working with, the phone is ringing, right? The clients want their projects done yesterday. They want to make sure that they're first on your books because it's natural for to be booked in advance, which is a really good place to be in business. It's better to be too busy than not busy at all, right? The worst thing you want is having no people calling you. That's not a good place you want to be. A lot of fear in that sense. Now, with that, over the winter, maybe things have slowed down for you. You gained a little weight, some drinking, fast food, all that kind of stuff, takeout. Maybe you've packed on a little bit of weight, right? And as the busy season comes through, you might be thinking, it's like, well, where the hell am I going to find the time to work out? Where the hell am I going to find the time to eat better? Right. And that's totally normal. That's totally normal questions to kind of ask yourself. So this is where I've put together the daily master tasks that my clients do every single day to move the needle forward, to lose the weight that they want, 30 pounds, right? 30 pounds specifically in this situation. And this isn't any kind of crazy stuff where you've got to eat different meals than the rest of the family. You don't have to do any kind of crazy crash diets. You don't have to spend hours in the gym, right? And a lot of guys that I work with, they actually work out at home. And that can be really cool, right? Being able to save time on commute. You build yourself a home gym, you give yourself a little square in the garage, in the basement, whatever. You go in, you get it done, you get out, you move on with the rest of your day. You don't have to spend time driving to and from the gym, to and from between the gym, the job site, and the home, right? That can eat up 20, 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on how far the gym is for you. Right now, if the gym's like 2 minutes away from you, it's probably best that you go to it. And that's going to give you the most most value for your time, right? Most investment for your time. But for a lot of people, they don't have to go to the gym. They can just work out at home. Stuff like a weighted vest, some pull-up bars, some dip bars. Those can be really helpful long term to help you build up on that kind of foundation. So I'm going to go here into this is kind of what I put together on Canva, right? Hopefully you guys can see this. These are the daily master tasks of the Winners Mindset Fitness Academy. So let's see if I can throw this in presentation mode. Really not. There we go. So these are what we do every single day, right? And I'm going to break these down one by one. So at the foundation here, we have sleep. Simple. Sleep 7 to 9 hours daily. Now, for some people, this can be easier said than done, right? So this is where looking at your nightly routine, 30, 60 minutes before bed, what are you doing in that time frame, right? Are you watching TV? Are you trying to get some extra work done? Are you, watching Netflix? Are you scrolling through your phone mindlessly? TikTok, Instagram, all those kind of reels that just suck your time and attention. And next thing you know, it's midnight and you've got to be up in 6 hours, 6, 7 hours. So not only that, like let's say you do get your 7 hours at that point, you wake up at 7, chances are you might feel groggy because the blue light actually tricks your brain into thinking it's still daylight out. So it takes longer to fall asleep, and the quality of the sleep that you do get is not as great as if you were to move away from the blue screens before going to bed, right? So this can be like something simple as going for a walk in the evening, reading a book, spending time with family. doing things that don't involve looking at a screen if you can't have that kind of control. So that's a really good place to start. Sleeping 7 to 9 hours, and it really is the foundation for everything else we're going to be talking about, because if your sleep goes to shit, you don't have the energy to wake up early to do your morning workout. And on top of that, you start getting sweet and salty cravings. Right? So that's where the gas station and fast food stuff come in, because you've got all these cravings that need satisfying because your brain didn't sleep well. It didn't recover. So now it's searching for nutrients, it's searching for food, and that's where those kind of cravings pop up. Right. So if you've got those kind of cravings that are just showing up for you quite a bit every day, every second day, it's like, take a look at your sleep. Like, what does your sleep actually look like? Really be honest with yourself. So this is where, pulling yourself away from those blue screens, putting a hard stop. Maybe you need to put an alarm if you have to. Say, hey, this reoccurring alarm is going to go off at 10 p.m. and that's my shutdown time, because that's going to be a pattern interrupt, right? So say if you're scrolling through all these Instagram reels, TikTok reels, Facebook reels, whatever, and it's just one video after another, right? They're quick, 30, 60 seconds, just enough to grab your attention and move on. That scrolling can go on for quite a bit, and next thing you know, it's midnight. So let's say you start at 9:30, for whatever reason, you end up scrolling for another 30 minutes until 10 o'clock. You've got that alarm that goes off at 10, and that switches gears in your brain. It says, okay, I put this alarm on for a reason. That's my cue to stop scrolling through it. And this is my cue to go to bed. If we don't have that alarm, then we kind of just get sucked into that time vortex thing. Next thing you know, it's 60 minutes later, and we're wondering where the time went. Where the hell did the time go? I was just looking at my phone for 5 minutes. So going through, really being aware of your own habits, right? Especially around sleep. So number 2 here, and again, like, if you guys have any questions as you go along here, not really sure how to make this work for you, let me know in the comments. More than happy to help out, answer any kind of question you guys have. Number 2 here, eat in a caloric surplus, high in protein. Now, I'm going to change this around here, because this is actually supposed to be deficit. This is for someone who's actually building muscle. So you don't want to be eating in the surplus, and that's totally my fault here. So I will make that correction right now. I built this out for someone who's building muscle. This one kind of slipped my mind here, so my apologies for that. Go back into presentation mode. Cool. So eating a caloric deficit, high in protein. So what do I mean by that? Right? That's just a bunch of words kind of jumbled together. So high in protein, what I mean is 1 gram per pound of your current weight, or 1 gram per pound of your goal weight. And that really is dependent on the person. So let's say someone's 270 pounds, right? They want to get down to 200 pounds. I've got an upper limit on the protein where we eat no more than 200 grams of protein in that kind of situation, right? Anything more than that, it really becomes difficult to kind of get that protein in, right? Because at 200 grams, you've got to eat, let's say you have 3 meals, you got to eat 50 grams of protein per meal. And let's just assume a double scoop of protein shake, that's another 50 grams of protein. So anything more than that, we've got to probably eat like 4 meals spread out with a little bit less protein on top of those shakes. So again, 200 grams is kind of like my upper limit for that. And then let's say someone who's 180, they want to get down to 160. Anywhere between 160 to 180 grams of protein is a good spot to be at. It's really difficult to have any kind of negative effects of overeating protein. There's really no downside to it, simply because it's more filling. 20-30% of the calories you eat from the protein will actually be burnt up in digestion. right? So let's say you have 100 calories of protein, 70 to 80 might actually be used and absorbed into your body. So there's really no downside. Where people really go wrong is we overeat on the processed foods, which are largely processed fats, processed carbs, right? So think of like your refined sugar, your refined wheats, your trans fats like deep fried food and all that kind of stuff. That's where really people go wrong in terms of overeating and undermoving, right? And we do that over years and years and years. The body fat accumulates, and then we're here watching this presentation, right? So again, keeping that protein high and then keeping a watchful eye on your fats and your carbs, right? So let's say you're someone working in the field, you're still on the tools, or maybe you go into the field once in a while. This is where you can have a little bit higher carbs because you are moving your body throughout the day, a little bit more active. Whereas someone who's more in an office position, a little bit more established in the business, running some teams and all that kind of stuff, they can get away with a little bit higher fat and lower carbs, right? So a good way to really think about this is your protein's like a constant in a math equation, right? Stays the same throughout, whether you're trying to bulk, whether you're trying to do maintenance, whether you're trying to do a deficit. So that's going to stay the same throughout. And then just play around with the fats and carbs from there, right? If we got higher fats, we do lower carb. If we got lower carb, we do higher fats. We got higher carb rather, then we do lower fats, right? And we don't want to cut fats out entirely. Super important for your testosterone, super important for estrogen balance as well. All that to be said, the total number of your calories, like if your weight isn't trending down, then you are still eating too much food or not moving enough, or maybe both. So something to consider here, right? So if things stall out, not moving in the direction that you want, take off some from the total calories, keep your protein constant throughout, and then cut back on the fats and the carbs. One or the other, depending on where you're at in your situation. So if anything about that wasn't clear, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Excuse me. Number 3 here. Smash your workouts every week. A lot of the guys, I'd say probably 50-50 guys in the academy either train at the gym or train at home. Really split between the two. And that's totally cool because a lot of guys, again, ones who train at home, they want to save time on commute and still see fantastic results. And the guys who train at the gym, they maybe they don't have a home gym and they're able to swing the time to commute for the gym and go work out there, right? So what is the point of actually doing your workouts? Because you can lose 30 pounds, you can lose weight just by eating less, just by moving more. You don't have to go to the workout. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to do any kind of home workouts. However, the danger with that is that you actually lose muscle mass. And from there, your metabolism slows down. And from there, there's a higher risk of yo-yo dieting and eating back all the progress you just made. So when you actually build muscle mass, it almost like puts like a furnace in your body. Body becomes like a furnace. You literally blow torches everything that you eat because it's putting it to good use. Not only that, but you get a positive first impression. Your clothes begin to fit better. Your energy goes up. You're stronger. You're mentally sharper. The only downside to working out is that maybe you put yourself through 45 minutes of doing uncomfortable workouts. But for the lifetime reward that you get out of it, it's worth it. So for a lot of people, you might be thinking, okay, well, that makes sense, but how do I actually get my workouts part of my schedule, right? Because shit's busy, shit's crazy, and all that kind of stuff. So this is where a lot of the guys, I get them, or at least I recommend to map out your business, map out your schedule for the upcoming week. Maybe you need to use a calendar service like Calendly. I'm a big fan of Calendly. We actually just, inside of the academy, we actually just put together a training on how to set up Calendly, how to literally install it into your system so you can guard your time and so that when people want your time, they got a book on your calendar, right? Whether it's clients or employees and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of people are just flying by the seat of their pants with their time. And that's totally normal, because entrepreneurs, as contractors, as business owners, it's almost like the shiny object syndrome, right? We've all got to do all these little things all at once, and everybody wants everything done all at the same time. But if we guard our calendar and everyone's on the same page with the agreed time as to, or a deadline or a meetup or something like that, that is when that's going to happen, right? And it brings you clarity for the week. Everything's booked in on some kind of calendar system. You know exactly what's going to happen and when and where, if you're doing physical meetups and all that kind of stuff. So from there, you really map out your time, guard your time, and then you begin to create the time for your workouts. And for a lot of people, it's first thing in the morning. Really is first thing in the morning for a lot of people. Some people can swing it in the evening. That's totally cool. But if you know you're going to be busy in the evening, and you know you're more prone to excuses and saying like, oh, I'm just going to do it in the evening, and then you never get around to do it, that's where getting it done first thing in the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. Because I'm the same way. Like I wake up at 5, go to the gym, all that kind of stuff. And if I were to tell myself, yeah, I'll just go to the gym in the afternoon, in the evening, I know I'm not going to do it. Traffic is crazy. In the morning, it takes me 15, 20 minutes just to get to the gym. At 4 or 5 o'clock, when people are just getting off work, the last thing I want to be doing is sitting in traffic for half an hour, just trying to get to the gym. Doesn't make sense. So I like to wake up early, 5 o'clock, be in the gym by 6, have a clear highway to get there. Barely anybody's at the gym. All the equipment is mine for free to use. And we're ready to rock for the day. So if that's you, definitely smash those workouts every single week, first thing in the morning, right? Especially if you know it works for your schedule. This might mean you have to wake up earlier, but then we go back to that base, the bottom of the triangle here, a pyramid rather, and we see how sleep is important, right? So if you get that quality of sleep, you can have the energy first thing in the morning to smash your workout. So how many days? Now, let's say, we've got our calendar mapped out. We know we can make the time to work out, whether it's 30, 45, 60 minutes. You don't have to spend all day in the gym. How many days do we actually need, right? So typically a minimum is 2 to 3. Probably do some full body workouts, all that kind of stuff. If you want to do more, 4. Maybe you want to do like an upper lower split, maybe some push pull legs. 5, probably do some push pull legs, and 2 of those exercises are going to repeat itself. So push pull legs, push pull, and then you reset on legs on Monday. And then if you're doing it 5 days, typically 3 of those days you're going to have back-to-back workouts. So personally, I like 4. I find it's a sweet spot for me. Some people like 5, they're overachievers. But typically 3 to 4 is a sweet spot between making it work for your schedule and seeing great results. So it really all does start with your schedule, structuring it out where time is going, finding the best for it, and then showing up and making it work. So we come to number 4 here, 10K steps every single day, right? So this is about 90 minutes total. And the reason we do 10K steps is because it's not even like cardio wise, but it does keep your heart healthy, right? It's not like, depending on the intensity and speed at which you're walking, probably won't elevate your heart rate that much, but it's a good way to burn 500 calories, and it's a good way to keep your heart healthy, right? We've been walking for thousands of years before cars, for buses, airplanes, trains, and all that kind of stuff. Walking really is the most basic activity we can all do. So if we can keep up with the walking every single day, this is a good spot to be, to burn some extra calories, keep your heart healthy, and clear your mind. right? Especially if you've had a stressful day, being out in nature, getting some clear air, going for a walk helps to come up with solutions to whatever problems and stresses you're facing in business and life. And then the last one here is drink 3 to 4 liters of water, right? So we're going to swap out all those liquid calories. You know, if you're going to Starbucks and getting some macchiatos, okay, go for maybe a black coffee instead. Right? You can still enjoy your Starbucks, just don't put any kind of bullshit in it. Swap out the sodas. Maybe you want to do diet soda for the time being. But typically 3 to 4 liters of water, it's going to keep you hydrated. The human body's like 60% water. And a lot of people show up to workouts not hydrated. They didn't even drink a glass of water before starting the day. So make sure you're well hydrated before going to your workouts. It's going to make things better. You're going to have better progress and less risk for injury for those workouts, whether it's at the gym or at home. Right? So really make sure you're well hydrated. Quick note here on the 10,000 steps. If you want to elevate your heart rate a little bit more, you could do rucking. Right? A lot of military guys do this. A lot of first responders do this, especially if they've got to carry around some kind of heavy backpack for work and maybe like even a weighted vest, like police officers and all that kind of stuff. They got to wear their so yeah, good place to start is grab a book bag, put some heavy shit in it, go for a walk. Keep it simple, right? And if you're not sure how much weight you put in it, do about 10% of your body weight, right? So if you're 200 pounds, do 20 pounds. Start with that, right? Start with that and then up from there. So this is it. This is what my clients do every single day. Not a workout's going to be every single day, but this is what moves the needle forward, right? It's nothing fancy. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing like out of this world that's out of the ordinary, right? This is all stuff that we all know that we should be doing, but just aren't, right? So I hope this brings you clarity. I hope this, guys, brings you structure in terms of what actually needs to be done and how to get it done, right? And if there's anything I wasn't clear about, let me know, drop it in the comments, and I'm more than happy to kind of clear things up for you. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Hope this brings you some clarity, brings you structure on how to lose the 30 pounds and how to make it all work for your schedule. And most importantly, like the two most important things before really getting into the nitty-gritty is, number one, making the commitment to make a change, right? Getting your mindset right to say, hey, I'm going all in on this thing. I'm going all in on myself to make a permanent change. And the second one is scheduling your time better, because if you can schedule your time, if you can control your time, if you can guard your time, you can control your life. And time is the only resource we can't get back. You can always get money, you can always lose money. It always comes back if you have that belief. But time is the one thing you cannot get back. So make sure you're using it wisely. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, drop them down. More than happy to help. Cheers.